Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I'm Sovereign. Today we're going to be talking about the update, regular update 14 that came out on the 1st of August. That was yesterday. I'm a little bit late adding this, but I have been working a stupid amount of bloody hours, so I was unable to get it done, but we're going to go over it today. And we're also going to go over the post they've done on banning a lot of players that were cheating and doing all kinds of stuff over the past couple of weeks, their process and what they thought. And if you think you've been banned by accident or some issues like that, they've hoped to resolve that by talking about that. So we'll go over that as well. But first off, we're going to talk about some new features and adjustments that they've added. So they've added the gesture system, which is basically just emotes accessible by pressing the H key by default to add a little bit more social interaction to the game itself. And also when tribesmen caring for bonfires are overloaded or have less backpack capacity, fuel will be directly moved to the bonfire fuel slot from chests that contain fuel. So they'll no longer get stuck. And so if you're having a couple of days where you're off, and say for instance you're the person who's loading the bonfires is the same person that's going to be filling like basically cutting down trees and stuff, or mining, or whatever they do in their spare time when they're not looking after your base or anything like that, they're having it to where it will move directly from chests into the fuel slot itself. It kind of takes a little bit away from having it set up properly and making it a bit strategic. I don't know what I think about that one. I know it's going to help a lot of people that don't have as much time to play, but I'm just really not sure what I feel about that one. Let me know down below what you think about that one. The effects of poisonous arrows can be immunized by dodging. So when your poison starts ticking, it seems like this is going to be where you dodge and you can dodge out of the poison. I don't know if it's because when you're hit with a poison arrow but you still dodge, you still took the poisonous effect if they got rid of that, or if it's the fact that when you dodge the poison doesn't continue ticking. They added an action for using Oblivion Soup. The proficiency of tribesmen can be reset directly. The life perception can now detect monuments and chests. See, I didn't ever want this part. This part pissed me off because of the fact that you couldn't use life perception to search for chests in bases, so you couldn't have secret rooms, etc. No one is ever going to run out of their mana in their mask. They can always use life perception all the time. It's just, for me, adding that for chests and detecting the monuments ruins the strategic defensiveness of people's bases. I don't like that change at all. Let me know down below what you think of that. I think that's the most bullshit change they've done so far in the entirety of all of their updates. I think that's a really bullshit move. Also, when enabled, the lighting module enhances the ability of life perception to detect and find humanoid creatures' titles. They added lighting module toggle. The tribesmen will close the door behind them after using the outhouse. Kind of a change, I guess, so the stink doesn't go everywhere, I guess. I'm not really sure about that one. When transferring preferred items to other inventories, their preference settings will be persisted by default. This is a big change. This was really annoying. Every time you took an item out, you had to refavor it every single time. It will now be saved, so you don't have to refavor it every 5.5 seconds. The preference settings of items in a dev package will also be persisted. So when you pick your stuff back up, it will automatically still be favorited and won't be able to be transferred when you do press the G or T function. When there's a stalled task lining up in multiple crafting queues, the continuable task will be prioritized upon current completion at the top of the crafting queues. There were times where, for instance, you'd start a new crafting queue and you didn't really have it, and then the items would come back in and it would continue to go from the top. So it worked in a ranking system where the top one would be the priority build, second, third, and it will build in that way. And I like the way that was. To have it like continually change tasks, if you want 100% to have certain things built first, then it should be that way. They shouldn't really be moving about. Again, it's kind of changing the need. I don't know who wanted that change, or maybe I'm just not understanding. Maybe I'm not understanding why people wanted that kind of change or why that change was necessary. Please enlighten me if you do understand why that's a thing. And they've also updated the Fatal Rhythm talent. Attacking enemies will receive a bonus while maintaining stamina between 60 and 90%. The less you dodge, the less you use stamina, the more damage you'll do. Although you can gain stamina pretty damn easy by not even, you can just still be running around and still gain stamina. So like that kind of, Yeah, no, I'm not really sure about that one. So we'll go through the bug fixes and optimizations. They fixed the issue where the name and remarks of the initial character were not saved after revival. They fixed the mismatch between the arrow release position and animation when NPC uses certain bow skills. They fixed the issue where blood would spew during the invincibility frames of successful dodge. They fixed the issue where damage numbers do not appear upon hitting enemies with backstab using gauntlets. They fixed the issue where the feed trough cannot be repaired. That was kind of a big issue, especially if you ran out of fuel, although you're not really going to run out of fuel again with the box change. They fixed the issue where the incorrect size of an ostrich hatched from an ostrich egg. They fixed the issue where chests cannot be opened if disconnected during the process of opening a chest. Fixed the issue where guide tasks may sometimes not appear after logging in. And they optimized the spawn height of elite horned eagles and elite vultures and optimized the central core's combat effects. That'll be something I'll have to check out in game with the combat effects, that how they've been changed. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like aesthetically. I don't think they changed anything to do with the strategy of fighting the central core. So that's what we have for the new features, adjustments, and the bug fixes. Let me know down below how important some of these are to you. Maybe they're not important at all. Maybe you want to see something change in the future for new features and adjustments. Please let me know if you do. And now we're going to go over quickly about the official server fair operation notice. So they've talked about basically how instead of arguing and fighting, they want people to maintain a wholesome and friendly game environment, which I understand. I don't want people shit talking to each other and calling each other names and stuff, but making it a wholesome and friendly game environment in a PvP survival game was kind of bloody, it confuses me a little bit. Shit talking is whole part of the process of PvP in survival games. I don't personally do it. I just love when people scream shit at me after they, like, whatever happens. If you raid them and they're screaming stuff at you, it kind of makes your day a little bit. You don't really need, but then if you don't tell the devs they've done it, the devs won't really know. So the people that enjoy it won't care, and the people that don't enjoy it will just be able to say stuff. And they've also encouraged players to report us to them via the report interface and cleanse the game environment. I don't really want the game environment cleansed. Yes, I want to get rid of cheaters. Yes, I want to get rid of people that are using and abusing bugs and all kinds of stuff like that. But just having a bit of a tussle in a PvP game, that for me, that's okay, man. I don't want to be, I don't know, that for me is just a little bit much, especially on the level that they seem to be talking about here. But they do have a system in place where they're going to go from warning to muting to account banning eventually. So there'll be a step system depending on how bad it is. But the behaviors that cause, and they've said that the operations team will vet these illegal behaviors and take measures accordingly only to official servers, obviously, because why are they going to go in and start talking about private servers, etc. But they have added some stuff at the bottom we'll talk about for private servers to be able to ban players, mute them, etc, etc, some more server side stuff. So basically the first thing you'll have happen is you'll get a warning, then you'll get muted, and then you can get an account ban, obviously depending on how bad it is. And the main reasons you'll be having your account banned would be modification or testing of the game client, including but not limited to decompiling programs, packet spoofing, and damaging the game client, basically using like aimbots and that kind of thing. The use of any third-party software, including but not limited to cheat codes, modifiers, scripts, and attachments. Again, the same thing in the same verse of the world. Using DDoS attacks or other technical means to obtain in-game interest, exploit game bugs and procedure loopholes to gain interest, to disturb the gaming order, to achieve personal purposes that cause loss to other players. All of these are quite easily bannable. I don't care. If anyone uses any of this stuff that's on there, just ban them instantly. I don't really, as soon as you have proof, don't ban people just because people said it, because that will just end up being some like Facebook level of banning every 30 seconds. And yes, I'm old, and yes, I said Facebook. Now, behaviors that can cause your game account to be muted. Send words to pose as officials, GMs, or administrators. 100% that should be a mutable offense. Post abusive, threatening, harassing, obscene, pornographic, hate speech, defamatory, or otherwise offensive comments. Threatening is kind of threatening non-real life threatening, just in-game, I'm gonna raid your base type shit is okay, but I know they're not really talking about that. I'm just being a bit facetious. Negative comments on religion, international politics, terrorism, nationalism, racial discrimination, or other sensitive topics. I mean, if anyone's ever played Ark in any form, Survival Evolved or Survival Ascended, the PvP servers on there literally like walking into some sort of political debate between the world's worst countries, prime ministers or presidents or whatever you want to call them. That kind of came with the territory, and they didn't really go go too much into that. I feel like when they go into this, I can understand that people get upset with certain things that are said and blah, blah, blah. For me, I don't really care about any. You can say whatever you want about me being English, or you can say whatever you want about me being Irish. You can say whatever you want about me being Danish or bald or long beard or skinny streak of piss or whatever. You can literally call me anything. I won't give a crap. But I do understand that people kind of would and do. But I would miss if that came out of the survival genre, just a little bit of shit talking. You can be muted for posting ads, external links, and other content unrelated to the game. Talk about using illegal means or exploiting game loopholes to undermine fair gaming. Yeah, I agree with that. You should be banned for basically exposing things for people to use and abuse content, etc., etc. I also think that should happen to YouTube as well, because I've never really done that. I've never really liked posting things. Like if I did something, I'd do a recording of it and then I'll send it to the devs. I wouldn't post it on YouTube because it kind of like ruins the game for a lot of people when people see that that's happening. There is an argument to be said that once it is posted on YouTube, the devs have to push harder to get rid of it. People use that in New World all the time back in the day. In games, as far as the more the people know about it, the quicker the devs will fix it. I'm sure the devs will fix it regardless, and they'll fix it just as quickly if they find out about it, especially if they're being sent a video from someone or some player that can be trusted with video evidence, etc., etc. I'm sure they're going to fix it in just the quickest amount of time. It just kind of ruins a lot of people's day when people find out about that kind of like exploiting or illegal loopholes, etc., that are jumping through the game. It kind of just will ruin someone's day for the 10 hours, 2 days that it's been posted out on YouTube. By then it's too late for a lot of people, so I don't really subscribe to that argument, because it will get fixed and less people will know about it. So behaviors that can cause your in-game buildings to be demolished. Use bugs to build your base inside a mountain, underwater, on the map edge, or any other places. But building underwater, I don't understand is why that's a bug. You should be able to build underwater. If you want to build underwater, man. Like if you want to hold your breath to go into your house, then hold your breath to go into your house. I don't understand. For me, that's strategy. I kind of miss the older rule sets of survival RPGs, and people still loved that shit. People still play Ark Survival Evolved. 50,000 people a day still play Ark Survival Evolved, and that game is some of the most toxic, racist, all kinds of madness gets said in that game, and people still bloody love it. It's because dinosaurs and stuff and things. I still love that game. I'm still playing that game now. So I don't understand this. It's whatever. Think of me whatever you like. You think I'm a horrible bastard for wanting people to just do... I don't know. I just don't like too many restrictions and stuff. Unless it ruins someone's gameplay. You can easily mute the voices and blah, blah, blah in games. You don't have to listen to literally anything. You can get rid of the chat and everything. Like, you don't have to have any of that in any of your peripheral vision at all. So for me, that's a personal choice if you want to be involved in that. I don't really care. Kind of adds to the fun for me, at least. So there is now an in-game report page for you to actually report bad behaviors of different players. You can do that as well. So if your account gets fully banned, and you're proven to be fully banned, as they've said that they're going to be going through and vetting each one. I don't know how true that's going to be, because I've played plenty of games where they haven't done that. That's kind of like a thing where they'll say that they're going to manually do everything, and then they've got some bot running in and say waiting for a single word to be used that sounds like "unt." I'm not going to say the full word, but they're just going to like literally, my missus just looked at me like, say it again. Anyway. Like AI is still in its infant stages. When they go and do blanket bans on people for using certain words and stuff, like for me, words are always in context. If there's a context for you to use a word, it's not a bad word. Words are only used to be bad if they want to be used to be bad. If you're just saying a word, it's just a word. Literally just a word. Depends on the context. And AIs can't see context and something like that. Like you could be literally talking to your friend in a private chat and an AI goes, "Oh, that's not a good word," and bye-bye banned. Whatever. Is that, for me, that's kind of bullshit. But complaining again. Just going to move on from that before I get in trouble. Anyway, next question. Why was I punished? I didn't use any modifier or cheat software. And basically Soulmask just says you're an asshole for cheating. Bye-bye. That's it. Even installing cheat software, using illegal third-party software, it's all going to get you banned. So just don't bloody do it. Don't be stupid. Don't ruin people's days. Learn to play a game properly, you fucking idiot. Anyway, I was punished for no reason. How do I appeal? Our team will go through vigorous checks before giving punishments to prevent mistakes. If you're not convinced, please inform our staff and they will not get back to you ever. They will. They said they'll process the appeal, but processing an appeal could take months. By then the game's dead. How do I appeal when I find illegal behaviors on a private server? Talk to the guy who owns the private server. They're not run by the game itself. The devs, well, just don't. If you don't like the private server you're on because there's cheaters, don't play on it. The server dies and you move on to the next server. That's just how it works. How to ban players on a private server. Now I will leave like the GM commands for removing, muting, basically all that kind of stuff. Unmute players, mute players, unblock players, and ban players. I'll leave all 4 of those in the description for you guys that are running these servers yourselves. And the last one is, why can't I log into online mode with my family sharing account? Basically, you're not allowed to use family sharing account because cheaters are using it to exploit the mechanisms. This is why we can't have good things. This is why when you get a dog that chews your shit, you're gonna have shit forever, because that's just how it's gonna be. Just don't change, mantita. Yeah, and they say your understanding is appreciated. And that's everything for today. This is a hell of a long bloody video for just a little update. I kind of did a little bit too much of an opinion piece there. There will be complete Soulmask episode tomorrow. I didn't get it done today because I finished work and I was really tired and I had nappy naps, and I was talking to the missus. She's still over in Spain because she left me here to be murdered in this bloody weather in England. But yeah, so tomorrow will be the complete Soulmask episode. I have taken all of your comments under advisement and all of your feedback, etc. for the style of video, and I'm going to kind of try to do a little bit of both. There'll be a little bit of cinematic stuff, maybe at the start of the video, and then we'll go into a more like me just playing the game and talking and raging and shouting and screaming when things go wrong. And when there's important parts, we'll do a little bit of a cinematic thing in there as well. So I have listened to you, and it will be done that way because I think I'll enjoy both sides of best of both worlds. I want to thank you all for watching. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at